Hi guys, and welcome to my premium buying guide for War Thunder in 2022. As of the date of this video, there's a 30% off sale right now, and I thought I'd show you some of my favourite vehicles that you could get your hands on. Now I've chaptered this video for your convenience, and I'll be doing a little bit of gameplay in each one, and I'll let you know exactly why I've chosen it, and if it's a good grinder or not. First up, we have the most expensive vehicle in this list at 9,740 golden eagles. With your 30% off, you'll actually get a pretty good discount on this thing. This is the M4 Sherman with the T34 Calliope strapped on top. And yes, that is 60 rounds of 114mm rockets. Not only are you getting a vehicle that's probably one of the best medium tanks for its BR at 4.0, this thing has additional armament that can deal serious damage to light units, medium units, and even heavies too. Now, although this thing is not a very good grinder, the reason I've included it is it's probably the most fun and biggest dopamine rush that you can get from War Thunder. Just popping the roof of a KV-1 as soon as it's bounced a shot off you is one of the most satisfying things that can happen in game. Next up, we have an aircraft that defies all physics. This is the XP-55. It sits at rank 4.3, so it complements the Calliope extremely well. This thing will set you back 3,900 golden eagles, but don't be fooled by its exterior. This is one of the best cast planes in War Thunder, pound for pound for its BR. It houses 250 cals and 220mm in the nose, which are not only great at taking out aircraft, they're also extremely good at taking down pretty much any tank in the game. For some reason, Gaijin has decided to buff the 20mm further with 38mm of pen, and even included a belt that has 3 out of 4 rounds which are armor piercing. If this aircraft couldn't get any better, there's the reason this thing's called a UFO. It climbs very quickly, it's extremely fast, and it turns very good too. Couple this with the fact that it's very small, so it's actually very difficult to hit. You've got one extremely potent aircraft that sits at 4.3 that does as well in air RB as it does in ground RB. Moving on to Germany, this is probably one of my favourite dirt vehicles in the game. This is the BRUMMBAR. At battle rating 4.3, this thing will set you back 2,980 golden eagles. The BRUMMBAR actually houses a 150mm howitzer that fires both HE and heat. I recommend the HE just for the good meme times. But what sets apart this dirt vehicle from any other is its armor. The BRUMMBAR, for its battle rating, is nigh unpenetrable by pretty much any gun that you'll face, with the exception of the 17-pounder. This combination of things will actually make your enemies panic, which will give you a lot longer to fire at them, in which case they're probably going to die. Just bear in mind your side armor is pretty weak. Make sure that you wiggle so no one shoots your barrel, and you should do extremely well on this thing and have a lot of fun. Out of all of the picks I've chosen for this video, this is probably the most smiles for your golden eagles that you could buy. Moving on to my most played vehicle in War Thunder, this is the German Do 335B2, also known as the Doom Diver. This is a rank 4 attacker that sits at BR 5.7 that'll set you back 4,880 golden eagles. Not only does this thing have 2 20mm cannons and can carry a ton of bombs, it's actually got 3 30mm that have HVAP rounds with over 70mm of penetration. Despite this thing flying like a brick, it's one of the fastest prop planes in the game, but it can turn very well so long as you know how to use it. As you can imagine, with this thing's armament, it's the bane of ground units, and it's even viable in full up tiers or taking it to higher BRs due to its speed. On top of all this, it's one of the sturdiest planes in War Thunder, even able to hit the ground and continue flying with no problems at all. I cannot recommend this plane enough, especially with Germany's 5.7 lineup being as strong as it is. Now for Russia, we have a little bit of an oddball tank. You see what I did there? This is the T35 that says a BR 1.3 and cost 2,100 golden eagles. This is genuinely one of the most hilarious vehicles to play due to its crew count, which is the highest in the game at 10. Not only does that make it laughably survivable, you actually have 3 very usable turrets with a 76mm and 2 45mm cannons sticking out of this thing. Basically what you have here is a T28 with 2 BT5s stuck on top. If you can't have much fun in this thing, you probably don't get invited to parties. Following with Russia, we have the classic T-34-57-1943. At battle rating 4.7, this thing is a mere 1,750 golden eagles. So not only is it cheap, it complements the standard tech tree version very well. The 57mm on this thing is extremely high velocity, making it one of the easiest cannons to aim at this BR. And because it's a T-34, it's fast, it's more survivable than it really should be. And due to the smaller shell size, this thing can get its reload down to 5 seconds with an aced crew. Due to this thing's versatility and its very quick reload gun, it's actually very viable, even at 5.7 and above. For this next section, we have 2 squadron vehicles that can be purchased with Golden Eagles at the 30% discount. This is the very cheeky chappy, the M901, also known as Wally. This little tank destroyer sits at 8.0, is one of the most under-BR vehicles in the game because it has, yes, thermals, and a tow launcher that can look over objects, which practically makes you invincible to being shot. This thing is as hilarious to look at as it is to play. The tow missiles in combination with the thermals make this thing extremely devastating to the enemy on particular spots on maps, and its gun depression is one of the best in the game at 30 degrees. Of course, your targets aren't limited to ground units, you can take out helicopters and even planes too if you're skillful enough. So if you're a player that likes to hang back and just snipe at things, this is one of the most ideal vehicles that you can buy. Moving on to the US A4E Early, yes, another squadron vehicle that sits at 8.7 BR that actually complements the little Wally tank very well. This is one of the most easily accessible ground pounders for USA at its battle rate. The reason for this is the 5 bullpups that it can store underneath its wings that are actually a rank 1 modification. And not only is it a good ground pounder, it's actually a very nice dogfighter as well. Once you get used to the keyboard guided bullpups, you can actually take out SPAA at longer ranges than they can engage you. And because you're a jet, you can return to the airfield and come back with more armament so long as you don't get shot down. So if you're a Freeaboo or Burgaboo, I definitely recommend both these vehicles, especially in a nice combination. And finally, our last vehicle, the Italian G91 R4. For much the same reasons as the A4E, this is actually the best ground pounder for Italy for a long while. This guy has access to 4 air-to-surface Nords, which is more than the actual Tech Tree version that only gets 2. In terms of a good ground pounder for ground RB, and actually a very good grinder for air RB too, there's really no better plane for the job. This aircraft has an excellent flight model. The only real letdown is the fact that it only gets 50 cals and unfortunately doesn't get access to the 30mm that the Type 3 version does. The trade-off that this is a premium is well worth it. So if you fancy Italian ground realistic or even just the air tree, this vehicle is pretty much essential. Priced at 8,910 Golden Eagles, the 30% off sale. There's no better time to pick it up than now. And that concludes my buying guide for 2022. If you have any other premiums you'd recommend to me, let me know in the comments box below. And don't forget to use my code in the pinned comment and the description for an extra 3% off and access to a limited time OddBawZ decal, which is soon to be replaced by this guy. This is the brand new OddBawZ logo, which will be introduced hopefully within the next couple of months. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and to all my supporters on Patreon, Discord and Twitch, thank you guys very much. And as usual, thank you very much for watching. Much love and bye bye.